11 killed so far this year just for doing their jobs. Mexico's one of the most dangerous countries in the world for journalists. Among them, Javier Valdez and Miroslava Breach, internationally renowned reporters who investigated government corruption and organised crime. Now they're gone. But it's not just their deaths that's worrying press freedom groups. It's what comes after.
After Javier was murdered,
Even in these two high-profile cases, months later, still no one's been arrested.
well, one of the main consequences of the impunity is that journalists start censoring themselves. They stop reporting on organized crime, they stop reporting on corruption, and as a result, entire areas in Mexico basically have no serious journalistic coverage or investigative journalism going on.
Free speech groups estimate that 99.7% of verbal or physical attacks against journalists go unpunished in Mexico. RICARDO Sanchez is the special prosecutor for crimes against free speech. In the last 6 years, there's only been 3 convictions. What's going on?
This is a very complicated issue. The federal government and Attorney General's office know we face a big challenge in beating the impunity. We've created a group to execute arrest warrants with the federal police and get people before a judge. So we're doing important work. I recognise we've got a long way to go and we're working hard with the state governments.
Sinaloa State, in the grip of organised crime, is one of the most dangerous for reporters. Martin Duran fled after getting threats. It still bothers him that the articles he and other journalists risk their lives for make little impact in an often openly corrupt society.
I think sometimes it's kind of a suicidal calling. You wonder, why should we run these stories? Because we know things aren't going to change.
Martin and around 500 other journalists are in a government protection program, but free speech groups say authorities themselves are actually responsible for the majority of attacks on the press. And that really doesn't bode well as we head into what's going to be a fiercely fought election season. If politicians are willing to use violence against journalists, and if there are virtually no consequences for doing so, that spells bad news for democracy. John Holman, Jazeera, Mexico City.